Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Kurt Singh here with kind of a neat open Great League battle. Uh, Forget exactly how many battles I have here, but I'm going through PV Poke here, and you can see that Gallade, with the new move update Psycho Cut, is rank 1 for a lead. Feraligatr is rank 1 as a safe swap, actually Shadow, which I have. And Skarmory is rank 2 for closers. So I happen to have all three of those. I did have the Glade and Skarmory made. I did make the Shadow Feraligatr, and I used an Elite TM to get Hydro Cannon. So we'll jump right into it here. This is kind of a neutral matchup. Jellicent's Hex is super effective towards Glade, but the Leaf Blade would do a massive amount of damage to the Jellicent. So they do switch out into a Vigoroth. Close combat, I think, would actually KO there, but they do shield that. So then I switch into Feraligatr, and the Shadow Claw is heavily resisted, so not doing any fast move pressure. But the Hydro Cannon would do a lot of damage, being Shadow, and it gets the stab bonus because Feraligatr is a pure water typing. So I'm going to shield this Body Slam. I think that would pretty much KO. So I do commit the shield. They get to another move here. We should see what a Body Slam will do. And it doesn't quite, but it does get me deep into the red. So I'm glad that I did that first shield because it allows me to get to this Hydro Cannon. And you guys will see just how much this does here. This Feraligatr surprised me. It hits really hard, and a lot of people don't really seem to be ready for it. And it counters a lot of the meta. It's really good against pretty much anything that's ground, obviously. Dragons don't expect the Ice Beam. This is where it gets a little bit tricky, though, because Talonflame, demolishes the other two Pokemon on my team. So you guys will see this first battle here. I do end up losing it. It was literally the first battle that I did with this team. I did manage to go 4-1. I've used this a handful of times, and I like each Pokemon individually, but I don't feel like I have a solid team here for any sort of climbing. It was fun to play. I'm going to try to tweak it a little bit, and if I can find something that I feel like works, then of course I'll make another video. But definitely, this is a fun video. We'll show you guys kind of the move sets and some of the playability with Glade and Feraligatr if anybody's interested in using either of them. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this line, although they're very highly ranked, right? Both first in lead, first in swap, and second in closing. Not necessarily together. I have managed to climb up to rank 11 using this team from, as you can see, I'm in rank 8 there. So it's working. Like, I'm getting wins and stuff, but it's not the most consistent. Where was I going with the different typings, right? Like, a flyer is going to beat you with Gallade. Anything fire, if Feraligatr is gone, you're weak to it. Anything electric, you're double weak with Feraligatr and Skarmory. So Charge Bug, for one, is a challenge to deal with because Leaf Blade and Close Combat don't do a lot to it. And then Steel Wing and Sky Attack kind of work okay because of the bug typing, but you're taking massive damage. So it's a little bit tricky, but the point of this one anyways was to showcase Feraligatr first off, and then also picked up Glade as well, right? So there you can see Hydro Cannon does a lot of damage. They're gonna send out an Earthquake, so I shield that up. Trying to Shadow Claw down here. Not quite gonna be able to make it. I honestly thought this was a Rock Slide. Did not expect a second Earthquake, but that's okay. They bring in Machamp. So I go back to Glade, and then they've got a Skarmory in the back. And Here I'm going to try to grab the shield from them. Leaf Blade isn't going to do a lot of damage, but there they go, the shield. They should respect the close combat. So now I can come in. They're a little bit ahead on energy, but I feel like I'm in a decent spot here. They'll sky attack. I'm building up on energy. At some point throughout this mirror match, I'm expecting them to switch back into Machamp. So I want to be careful that I don't get hit with a rock slide. So here they're going to throw, and I think that I shield this one up just in case it's a Brave Bird, and then they were going to dip out and try to farm it down or something. But here they actually, I wasn't quite expecting them to catch the sky attack. So there went the Machamp. I'm not 100% sure what they were thinking. Maybe because they got my shield, they figured, oh, maybe they'll be able to get into sky attack and take me out first. That might be their thinking, but I was able to get there and take them out. So good game to my opponent. And now we got Gallade into Charizard. So again, kind of a tricky matchup. If they're using Wing Attack, which they are, it's super effective against Gallade. And then obviously if I have Skarmory left against it, Blast Burn is going to do a lot of damage, right? And Leaf Blade and Close Combat don't do a lot on Charizard. So kind of have to stay in though, because I can't safe switch into Feraligatr and then have them dip out and then my Feraligatr's gone. So kind of have to let myself get taken out there, try to get a shield, do some damage, right? Soft lose, so to speak. So they Dragon Claw. I do shield that up. The other kind of issue that I'm sure people are noticing right away is this team is pretty glassy. So it's a little bit hard to manage your energy and health amongst, like, over the course of the battle. So Lantern's another one that's a little bit tricky if Glade is out of the picture. Leaf Blade does a great amount of damage to Lantern, but if they're able to keep you away from it, like your Glade away from it, then there's not a lot that you can do, right? So I do manage to get a shield there with the Skarmory, so that's good. And I'm going to let the Thunderbolt go through. Takes me out. Bring in Feraligatr, and going to go for a Hydro Cannon here. This is not looking like I win this one. I think if I remember right, actually, these first battles, what did I do here? They shield, take out, I'm down shields, I lose. I'm going to have to think about what I did here, what videos, what matchups. Maybe I didn't do the first. I might have just done the first match that I did. We'll see here as it goes. It's only 15 minutes. I thought that I did the two battles of the first set, and then a set that I went 4-1 is what I thought that I had done. But that is clearly not the 4-1 set. Close combat into Charge Bug. I'm at another close combat, so this should force a shield. Gets the shield. Now my defense is dropped. I'm going to just let this go. Glade's got both shields, so that's great. Now I'm going to come in with Skarmory, and as you can see there, their Volt Switches are just shredding through Skarmory, and Steel Wing is doing very, very little. So I do shield here. It's just a crunch, so that's a positive. They've got X Scissor and Crunch, so I can more or less safely take another move, and I'm out of shields anyways. They bring in Poliwrath, so Sky Attack's going to do a big chunk here. I don't want a Brave Bird in case they shield it, and then reach a move before I get to another moon. Here, I can safely Brave Bird, take out the Poliwrath, and then I can switch out into Feraligatr and clear the debuff. And it just so happens that they have a Cresselia in the back, so that works out really well for me. Able to hit the grass or survive the grass knot, I was like, oh man, this isn't going to go well. They have they'll have grass knot, right? But Shadow Claw doing a lot. Get to the ice beam there, and now at this point I should live Moonblast or grass knot, I feel. So let's see here. Grass knot comes through, barely does anything, and they give up. So good match there. Into the next match. I'm trying to think of what I did here. I might have shown the first 1 or 2 battles, yeah, and then it reset, I think. And then this is the new 5, like set of 5 and I lost one in there. So that would make a lot of sense. If that's what had happened there, I was like, what? I went through and edited this a couple hours ago, and then just got the time to record it. So trying to remember which videos I put in there. So here I've shielded up Hydro Cannon. You can see how fast Glade gets to moves now too. It's crazy. It's crazy fast. You're losing the damage output, right, that Confusion or Charm would do, but it gets to moves really fast. So shield up that Hydro Cannon. Now we're both out of shields, and I get to the Leaf Blade first. So there you go. If you guys are against a Swampert, you win the 2s. If you guys want to match shields, you're going to get to Leaf Blade next first. And now look at this. Leaf Blade resisted against Frostlass. Look how much damage that does with a Shadow Glade. So then I switch out right away, and the Shadow Claws are shredding apart the Frostlass. They switch into a Carbink. Look at this, what Hydro Cannon does. Over half health, one shot. Like, one Hydro Cannon is over half health. And I get to another one before they even get to a move. So, Carbink, one of the top Pokemon now, super bulky, gone in 2 Hydro Cannons. And then Frostlass comes back in. Whatever they throw here is going to take out Feraligatr. Again, like I said, not super bulky. I was really surprised that Grass Knot did not take me out. And here I'm able to actually farm down. So that worked out fine. Next match here. Glade into Azumarill. This is a decent matchup. Mainly because you get to Leaf Blade so fast, right? So I've already farmed up to almost 2. And they're not out of move yet. You do obviously have to watch out for the play rough. That would pretty much one-shot you. So they switch into Sableye. The Shadow Claw is super effective against the Psychic typing of Glade. So I do throw the Leaf Blade, get their second shield, and then switch into Feraligatr. Get to a Hydro Cannon. They haven't thrown yet, so look at the damage. Like, it's just insane the amount of damage that thing puts out. So I'm going to shield this up. It is the return, so that's very nice that I shielded that. Able to Shadow Claw down. So now what do they do, right? No shields. I'm a little bit loaded on energy, and I have a shield. So they bring in Annihilate. And I go for a Hydro Cannon on this thing. Their counters... No, I'm doing super effective with the Shadow Claws. And the Hydro Cannon almost takes them out. A couple more Shadow Claws, they're done. So Azumarill comes back in. Keep in mind, I haven't even brought Skarmory out. Glade can get to a couple Leaf Blades here. I kind of mistakenly let them farm me down, which is not ideal. So now they're out of move. Do I shield this, or do I just go into Skarmory and get to a Sky Attack? I do shield it, hoping that I'd get to Leaf Blade. I'm not going to be able to make it. So that's unfortunate. This Ice Beam takes me out. However, with Skarmory, even an Ice Beam is not going to even really threaten me. So I can live a good 2, I think. And 1 Sky Attack and some Steel Wings are going to take them out easily. So they throw the Ice Beam, and I think they realize nothing they can do. So they give up the match there. And there you can see that was a 4-1 set. So yeah, that's what I did. Blanked on. Oh, if you guys were watching around the 8-minute mark, that's what happened. So yeah, Poliwrath is a reward. Overall thoughts, don't think it's a good climbing team, but it is a lot of fun to play, and I like the move updates. See you guys in the next one.